Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the words of the Timer DEVORAH. We finished basically the Midah of Mikael Kamaycha, who is like you, Hashem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is willing to bear the embarrassment and the shame when people do things wrong to him, and continues to give them life and bracha and goodness and fills up their hands with success. Even though at the exact time that he's giving them something good, they are throwing it back in his face, so to speak. And therefore the Talmud DEVORAH said we should be the same. We have to emulate the ways of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We have to become these godly people who are above the lowliness of our egos and the lowliness of our foolish midos, the character traits that trap us and don't allow us to see the bigger picture of things. I want to share a story with you that I heard many years from Dovid, one of the premier mechanchim of our generation. He said that he had a friend who, unfortunately, his wife began to go a little bit delirious and senile at somewhat of a young age. They still had younger children in the house, and his wife was already not communicating with her husband in the right way, and she would sometimes say things that were very inappropriate and very embarrassing. And she would do it in public as well. She would make fun of him, she would put him down, she would say nasty comments, and it was very hard for this husband. He felt like his whole image, his whole self-image and his honor and respect in the eyes of others, in the eyes of his children, was being diminished because unfortunately his wife was losing it a little bit, and she was saying things and doing things that she didn't have control over, but it was very, very embarrassing for him. And he came to Rabbi Briznak and he asked him, what should I do? Should I stand up for myself? Should I put my wife in her place? What should I do? He said, it's really becoming very embarrassing for me the way that things are going. You should see what she does sometimes by weddings, by bar mitzvahs, by a family simcha, by a gathering. She'll berate me, she'll put me down, she'll embarrass me. My kids are around, family members are around, people from the neighborhood. It's embarrassing for me. He said, but I could stand up for myself, I could say something, but he said, I'm afraid it's not even going to work because my wife, something is wrong. She's not fully there. So Rabbi Brizak said, listen, I can't tell you what to do. It's not my honor that's on the line. It's not my self and my position. He said, it's yours. He said, but I will tell you one thing. A person who doesn't respond, a person who lets it slide off of him, a person who's a Mikael Kamaycha, who emulates the ways of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and decides to bear the shame and the embarrassment, you'll never lose out. You'll never lose out. You'll never know how much you're not going to lose out and how much you're going to gain by just taking it, by not responding, by not doing anything, by not trying to defend yourself. You'll see, Mikael Kamaycha, who is like you, Hashem, you'll never lose out for emulating the ways of Hashem. So the man took Rabbi Brizak's words to heart, and he decided, you know what, my wife, she doesn't really have control. Whatever she's going to say, she'll embarrass me, she'll put me down, she'll shame me, even publicly, even in front of my own children. I'll bear the burden. That's the way of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's the way that I'm going to behave in this world as well. Several months later, the man sees Rabbi Brizak and he says, Rabbi Brizak, I have to tell you a story. I took your words to heart and I decided, you know what, there's nothing I can really do anyway. Let me just bear the burden and the shame and the embarrassment that my wife will put me through publicly, in the house, at simchas, at gatherings, whatever it might be. I'm not going to say a word. He said, just the other night, and I've been doing it, he said, and I've been doing it, and there's been very embarrassing, trying times, but I've been doing it, I don't say anything. Just the other night, he said, my children, they were playing in the other room. And I heard my children having that famous conversation that many kids have with each other, and that is, who do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? Who do you want to be like when you grow up? And I hear my kids having the conversation, and one of my sons turns to all of his siblings and he says, when I grow up, I want to be just like Tati. I want to be just like our father. Do you see the way that mommy embarrasses him? Do you see the way that mommy shames him? Do you see the way that mommy puts him down even in public in front of family and friends and community? Do you see all of that? And our Tatis doesn't say a word. He accepts it all and doesn't do anything about it. When I grow up, I want to be like Tati. I want to be on such a level like that where I could do the same thing. So when a person elevates themselves to the world of godliness and they act in a way that is above and beyond the average human being down here in this world, and they align their actions and their reactions with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, says the DEVORAH, then you are living according to the midah, according to the attributes of Hashem, and you are now connected in a very deep and positive and meaningful way with the Shekhinah Kadosha, with the holy divine presence that is beckoning and waiting and inviting us to become close to Him. Have a wonderful day.